Hello, it is I, Bert. An owner of a diesel motorcycle called the T-800cdi track since approximately 2011-2012. I'm not sure anymore. I bought it new. I still have it. It still rides occasionally when I fix it, indicating to the many problems that can be had with this, which makes it a challenging motorcycle for anybody who wants to ride it. It's also challenging if you want to work on it because of the lack of parts, knowledge about specific details of the bike. So and there's a lot of finicky details that are not ideal on the bike originally, and you can start looking for improvement, but some improvements turn out not to be improvements. Of course, it's like a R&D project, which is something that I like to do. Let me show you the bike and flip the camera over, at least my screen, so I know what I'm doing. So this is the track, right? You are still recording. The T-800cdi, I call mine X-Traction because it used to be a track. The company ceased existing, so it's an X-Track, and the whole process of getting this to run is quite the extraction of knowledge and faults and assumptions and etc. It's quite something special. I don't know if you can actually hear me. I hope so. Otherwise, I'll just dub in the up. So this is I had my rear wheel respoked recently to be put 8mm to the left, so it's actually in line with the bike now, which wasn't the case originally. I think the ratio inside here has been changed for a shorter ratio to make it easier for the CVT. The CVT is a belt drive in between continuously variable transmission, which had an air blower on it that was circulating air over over the own fan and not really blowing into the CVT because of the design of the cooling housing. So I modified that. There is I've modified the vent exit of the engine with the oil return to go down here. That's original, but then the vent return goes to the other side of the engine first before it comes over the top of the tank here into the air filter. If you don't do this, the oil from here can just flow into the air filter if you turn the bike on the right side. Ask me how I know. And diesel engines run on lubricating oil. Haha. Anyway, so I also put on intercooler here, and that is the radiator. It is much smaller than the radiator, because it doesn't need the big radiator of a KTM 990. Since the bike only has 45 horsepower, it's a diesel. It can run a bit hotter than a regular fuel engine, so it can do with half the radiator that was originally fitted. The other half can be used by an intercooler quite easily. Pipe it in, pipe it through, boom. This is the 12-volt rectifier regulator. It has been everywhere on the bike. Originally it was behind the ECU. Behind the ECU it is, the ECU is on the left side here, and behind there, that was the original place of the ECU, of the rectifier. And that gets a little bit hot because it's behind the radiator. It's on almost on top of the engine, and it doesn't get a lot of air, so it can break. Mine already broke because somebody left out the grounding wire when I bought the bike new. So after 100 kilometers it didn't work anymore. Anyway, so that's that. Also, the cooling system, of course, has been heavily modified, not just because of the radiator, but because the water pump originally is way too big. De-airing the whole cooling system is a bit of a pain in the ass, literally, almost. And to make it easier, I swapped for, first of all, I could use a smaller pump, because the original pump is for a V8, I don't know, 3-liter engine or something, and this is only 800cc, so it's like overkill. I suspect, and it is only a suspicion, that the bigger pump was chosen because the cold return from the thermostat, which is behind here, the cold return was left open completely, which is of no use. The cold return can be almost closed off, because you want some water circulating over the cold, but not as so much that the thermostat de-aeration ball is no longer sealing. It's a smart engine issue, known in smart cars, that the thermostat doesn't close completely, even when it's cold, so you're always losing heat through the radiator. Imagine putting the smart car engine in a motorcycle, open to the air and the wind, and then expecting it to get warm on a radiator that is twice the size that it should be, and the radiator is getting liquid continuously. So yeah, good luck. Yeah, well, I also modified I modified the fuel pump bolts, because they were originally too long, and that's why it kept leaking on the gasket of the fuel pump. I put on some heated grips. This is the controller, which is now in a little baggie, because these things will stop working after 5 years in the rain, and there will be some water ingress on the contact of the button underneath, so I think this will prevent most of that issue. I have a lot of switches here. The intercooler fan, there is a little button there that is for the CVT fan, which I hardly use. The intercooler fan I don't use, basically because I don't think I need it, but it's nice. I mean, it has an intercooler, that's what I need. And then it also has a separate button for the second headlight, because it came with 3 headlights originally, but there were starting issues when you start it up, because they both switch on when you switch on the contact, etc, etc. Oh yeah, the original glow plug relay is of the kind that switches on when you switch on the contact, but then as soon as you push the starter button, it switches on again. So you can wait for the relay to go off, and then thinking, okay, I have now electrical capacity to start the engine, you know, with a weaker battery, but then you push the start button, and that also initiates the glow plugs. That's, you know, brilliant. Anyway, so yeah, I switched the glow plug relay now to a push button here on the thing, dashboard, and I also put on a amperage meter here for the water pump, because as I said, the water pump has trouble de-airing. The system is hard to de-air, and once you fill it up, you know, you want to make sure that you get enough cooling. There is a temperature indicator for the cooling water, yes, but that can be too late. I know from experience. Once stuff starts boiling, the there's also no flow, and without flow you don't really see what's going on. So I want to make sure that I see that I have flow. I want to see the amperage go up when the engine heats up and you get more flow over the thermostat that is actually opening, and I want to be able to know for sure when I'm driving, because I don't like this baby getting hurt beyond the usual. That's it. I will now turn on all of the other cameras, and I will take a little spin. I have no idea where I'll go. Oh yeah, I do. It'll be a little bit 60 kilometers per hour, you know, accelerating, decelerating, probably, and then 100 kilometers per hour on the autoweg. It's like a B road, I guess. Anyway, I'm here in the harbor, a little harbor. Let's see. I put you here. I have a, and then I should be able to. Oh, come on. Anyway. So I put on this camera. That camera. All the cameras are running. Holy camera. Even though it was sold as an an all-road adventure bike, I don't recommend using it as such because of the many technical problems and the difficulty in fixing stuff. Electrically, I have modified mine a lot because of how it was originally made, trying to improve stuff. Thicker wires, better connections, more better thought out systems, like for instance the glow plug relay. Now I just have it with a button and that's it. I mean, why make it so complicated and negative when you push the start button? Anyway, that's it. Let's go start up. So contact. Oh, something is on. That was the intercooler fan. Intercooler fan off. Glow plugs on. The pump is running already. I'm pulling 6 amps. Glow plugs done. Start. Hit. Boom. 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 So that's it basically. It still rides pretty well. Its coolant level is okay. So far no leaks, pump's working well, temperature indicator, voltage is okay. I think I can even discern a difference in voltage because of the charging of the battery. Because now I have two voltage meters. One is the amp meter on the water pump, which is a separate electric circuit from the battery to the water pump, with everything in it, everything needed. And there is the voltage indicator in the dashboard. So there is and because the dashboard is getting its power from the rectifier that's in the nose almost directly. I modified that a little bit, so I didn't see the use of having a lot of fuses in the back and the rectifier in front and then going back and forth for a lot of the electronics. So I modified that a bit where I could, where it was practical. So for all of the additional extras that I have in front, or the modifications that I did to the second headlight, for instance, I pull those directly from the rectifier through a separate fuse box, electric fuse box. So it doesn't need to be reset. It can be reset automatically, basically, no problem. Well, that's it. I think that's enough. Let's see if I can make it home.